Hey everybody, it's Make Creations here, and it's Sherry behind the camera and Sherry quilting the T-shirt quilt. I have chosen a light green thread that is going to probably just melt into most of the quilt. I'm not trying to show the quilting as much as I'm trying to show the design on the t-shirts, so I don't want to distract from that. So, and I'm using the Martelli paddles, the palm paddles, and that's going to help me grip the quilt. This quilt is a very heavy quilt because it's full of t-shirts and also the batting and the backing to the t-shirts and then the backing fabric. So it is a kind of heavy quilt, which kind of can serve as a weighted blanket, which is helpful with PTSD and other disorders. So I'm going to just keep y'all with me and just start quilting stipple pattern. Now, if you notice, I was quilting more with my my hands spread too far apart and coming off of the paddle, so I needed to reposition my hands. I am going to be careful going through this right here because it is significantly thicker, and the printing and all that is more dense. You can feel that it's almost like a plastic. So I'm going to be careful going through this area. So here I go. You can feel it in the quilting that it's a little tougher to go through. Stop and reposition. I'm hoping you guys are getting a good view of this, and I will actually stop this here in a little bit and make sure and check it. I'm just trying to get a little bit of it done to show you guys how I'm choosing to quilt this T-shirt quilt. I'm noticing that when I move down, this is being filmed with the boobie cam, and so I can't tell what it's actually showing or not, so I will turn this off here in a few minutes and then come back and make adjustments if I have to. So I think I'm going to do that right now and just make sure you guys are getting a good view. Peace out. Okay, I made a few little adjustments, and we're going to see if that provides a better view. Although the other one wasn't so bad, it just was the part that's collecting on my belly that kind of distorted the view a little bit. So this quilt's a very big quilt, and I've had to really fold it up or crunch it up to keep it from dragging. Okay, so here we go. Sometimes you just don't want to stop and you start doing bad habits like quilting with one hand and whatever I just did. So I felt like I had to stop and rearrange and said, this is a heavy quilt. What is this, a loose thread here? And when I come on the edges, I want to kind of like tack that down. So that's a good idea to always do that. That way when you go to bind it, it's already tacked down. So stop and rearrange. Going to stop again and see what kind of view you guys are getting. Okay, everybody, I'm back and I'm going to do some more quilting. Please comment below if you find this any kind of helpful or if I should just stop filming this way. We are trying to find a way to give you guys a better view of when we are quilting, and this is a way that if one of us isn't around, that we can film by ourselves. So I'm just gonna keep it moving here. When you're doing a stipple, you just kind of make haphazard patterns, and your goal is to try to not cross your stitches. Although I did cross my stitches a little bit ago when I was trying to see inside the camera while I was filming, but that's okay. I'll sacrifice that for you guys. So here we go. If you notice how the rest of my quilt is like bunched up, and you don't want to have any drag on the quilt. So if you notice, all this is like bunched up and around, and it's fallen off of the quilt. The quilt is falling off of the front of the machine, but I'm catching it with my body. So, and I'm keeping it scrunched up with my body. Rearrange, make sure nothing's getting folded underneath, and here we go again. Sometimes while I'm quilting, I kind of walk along. I walk my hands along like this right here, like I just did, instead of stopping, because I'm stubborn and I don't want to stop. See how I've kind of just walked around with my fingers and anything to keep from stopping. As the texture of fabrics change, you can feel it in your needle. Luckily, it's not breaking any threads, right now. I hope I didn't just jinx myself, but this fatigue fabric is very different from the t-shirt fabric. So we are dealing with different media or textures of fabric here. So I'm going to stop it and see what's happening. Okay, here we go. See, if you notice how I lean up and I fold this hand back, so because I don't want to hit the needle with my paddle. So when I'm getting close to it, I kind of lift my hand up and just use my my pinkies. Need to rearrange. Okay. There we go again. Just trying to make the area under your needle more of a flat surface. See how I'm starting to get a little bulge there. I need to flatten it out. Most of the problem being that I'm too stubborn to stop, and I just want to do as much quilting as I can before I have to stop. So that's where my stubbornness comes into play. I'm not quilting in any kind of pattern as far as going. I started in the top middle, and then I'm just going to the right now. But pretty much I'm just quilting wherever I feel like quilting, wherever my brain tells me to go at the moment, and that's what I'll do. Nothing from the peanut gallery over there, G. This material right here is pretty, almost plasticky too, if that's even a word, plastic-like or whatever you want to call it, but it's okay. It's still, I put a brand new purple needle in before I started. I also did the regular maintenance of what we do before we start quilting a quilt, which is to vacuum out the machine, and put a new purple needle in, and just treat your machine kindly and say a good little prayer before you start quilting that you won't have any thread breaks and the quilting gods are with you. What?
And a new bobbin.
Oh, a new bobbin, of course. We do use bottom line from Superior Threads in the bottom, in the bobber, as I like to call it, even though it's called a bobbin. We do use bottom line in that, and so it's a little bit of a, not transparent, but it's really light so that you will have not much, you won't see much quilting on the back of your quilt. And I'll show you you may have gotten a glimpse already, but I'll show you what I've chosen to use for the back. And that's what I've picked for the back. And so I'm just gonna keep it moving. Probably gonna go up and go up to that corner up there. And then tack those down in the corner. I cannot wait for this to be done and to show the Marine Corps veteran his quilt. This is going to be fantastic. I think this is the favorite part of me making these memory and T-shirt quilts, is just to see the reaction on the face of the receiver. I am going to turn this off and see what we have here. This is the view of the quilt being stippled. This is what it looks like so far. And I hope you enjoyed.